G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's get into our tipping for round 20, but before we do that, please like and subscribe, and let's have a quick recap of what happened in another great round of AFL football on the weekend. So in round 19, we started off on Friday night with the draw between the Tigers and the Dockers. Both teams had their opportunities to win this one, particularly Richmond. Bolter took too long to make a kick, but Frederick from Freo did an amazing thing, come over and smothered that kick. And then, of course, the young fella, Cumberland, I think his name was, did the right thing. He tried to play on, but he just didn't have enough awareness of what the time was. But really impactful draw for both of these teams, particularly Richmond. Okay, that really puts them under the pump. So they have to win all their games to make the 8. Hawthorns dispatched North Melbourne as we thought that they would. Really playing well at the moment, the Hawks, and a bit of a danger team. Sydney were too good against Adelaide. Adelaide are still playing well. As I say every week, I wouldn't be disappointed if I was a Crow supporter. At least they show up, at least they tackle hard. But Sydney just too good, and Sydney are really starting to hit some form. I love the way they play, and they can cause a bit of pain in the finals. Geelong are lucky to beat Port. Just a bit of experience, I think, really got them over. Questionable free kick to Hawkins with 2 minutes to go, which was that they haven't called high all week, and then all of a sudden they give one that wasn't high to give them a goal in front. So I actually did a video a couple of weeks ago saying that Port could be cause a lot of devastation in the finals, and I got a lot of stick from it, from comments saying how crazy I was, but I wasn't too far off. So if we go back last week, they played Melbourne. They gave Melbourne a good run. Okay, Port are a better team than most people think, just because their win-loss at the moment. Then they pushed Geelong. Okay, so if they'd won those two games, the whole ladder would be totally different. And there's a game coming up that I also predicted 3 weeks ago. Lions had a hard win against the Suns in the Q Clash. Okay, we're playing okay at the moment. We did play better on the weekend. A couple of Joey had 3 goals or something. The forward started performing a lot better. Then another great game yesterday when the Bulldogs topped off Melbourne. Or was that on Saturday night or Sunday? Oh, I think it was, Saturday night. And then the young guy, Ugle Hagen, that goal that he kicked up, with 10 seconds ago, it's one of the best goals I've seen for a while. But yeah, D's are looking a bit iffy at the moment, a bit defensive, structure's a little bit down, but I still wouldn't be writing them off. Carlton, another great win against GWS. GWS can't score unless it's Toby Green, but Carlton are going along really well at the moment. Another great game with the kick after the siren for Collingwood, so that makes them 9 wins in a row, which is fantastic for them. Really tough fought wins, all of them. Again, Essendon would be ruining the situation. Collingwood went coast to coast. So I think the AFL stats it's about 40-1 to kick a goal from your kick out, and it's only 4% for the opposition team to score again from a point. So obviously something happened defensively there with Essendon as well, but really good for Elliott just to take the responsibility to go back and kick it. I went for the West Coast just because it's my tipping, I'm trying to catch up. But yes, the Saints dispatched the Eagles, which is what we thought of. So let's have a look at our ladder. Geelong remain on top. Melbourne, Brisbane and Collingwood are all equal points, just percentage. Freo, Sydney, Carlton, Western Bulldogs and St Kilda Richmond are the only ones that can get into the 8. Now, Richmond Saints or Western Bulldogs. So there's a couple of big games coming up for Richmond. And I was looking at the predictor again. And like I said, so next week, Port can do some damage again. Funny enough, this is what this season's all about. With a couple of games, would you believe that Collingwood can miss the 8? I know it sounds crazy, but they can actually miss the 8. And if you have a look at their draw, they've got a tough draw. Their last 4 games are really tough. So let's have a look at next week first. Okay, so another ripping game. So this has been 5 blockbusters in a row, maybe 6. So, you know, Freo, Melbourne. Freo aren't travelling as good as Melbourne, so I'll go Melbourne here, and they've got to bounce back sooner or later, so I'm going to go for about 24, 25. I think the only good game they played this year was against us, funny enough. Now here we are again with Port and Collingwood. Okay, I told you Port can do a lot of damage in the finals, so I still don't rate Collingwood. I love the way they're playing. I love their passion. I love what they're doing. It's a great story, but I still don't think that they're a top 8 team. You know, if you just go back and have a look at their wins, if they lost half of them, they're 10th. So I'm going to go Port there as an upset. Sydney will absolutely smash the Giants at the Battle of the Bridge. Now this is another great game, very important for Saints. Okay, Saints need to win this to keep their finals alive, but Hawks are playing really well. Saints have lost their ruckman, so I'm going to go Hawthorn there. And another great game, which will really test out the Bulldogs. They just beat Melbourne, so can they beat the Cats? That GMHBA, but I'm going to go to Cats there. But another great game coming up. Carlton will easily beat Adelaide. Suns should beat West Coast at Metricon. And now this is the really important game. So Richmond against us. So if Richmond can beat us, which they can, I don't think they're a scary team. I can't go them, of course, because I'm a Lions supporter, but they can beat us. They've got the talent. And let's go Essendon to go against North. So they're my tips, but let's go have a look at the predictor. And like I said, funny enough, so if Port can beat Collingwood and the Bulldogs can beat the Cats and Richmond beat the Lions, this round could be the end of Collingwood's finals. Forget about top 4. They won't make the 8 because their percentage is pretty bad. Okay, so there's another game that has to happen. So if we go to our next round, and it involves Port again. Okay, so Port and Richmond. So Port might be the killers of Collingwood, but if they beat Richmond, well then they can also put Collingwood back in. But yeah, so if Richmond win all of their last 4 and Collingwood lose all of their last 4 and the Bulldogs can beat Geelong, Collingwood don't make the finals. They finish equal 8th, and then it's their percentage. So that's my prediction. Okay, so if you're a Collingwood supporter, these are the games that you need to be watching. Okay, so this week, can't lose to Port. If you can win this game, you're definitely stuck at least 6. And you watch the Bulldogs, you don't want the Cats to be rolled by them, and you don't want Richmond to beat the Lions. But anyway, that's enough from me. So that's my take on the AFL at the moment. I'd just like to add that I think this year has been the worst year of umpiring. Not by the umpires, but by the AFL. The rules changes, and they bring in a rule for one team and then they don't do it the next game. It's been the worst year I can remember. So we've started off with Tiggy touch pushes that were paid 50, stand the mark rule that no one does anymore, descent rule, they just totally throw that one out. We say we can't touch an umpire. We had an incident with Hipwood 2 weeks ago. Well, there was an umpire absolutely cleaned up yesterday, right in the middle of the ground, and there wasn't a word said about it for some reason. No replays, no nothing, not in the news, nothing. Totally different reaction. And why is it okay to, I don't know, the goal umpire to be pushed around? And I've seen people jump on their back to try and take a mark. Why the field umpire is so protected? The high free kick against Ginnivan is a joke. I've seen all of the ones that they're complaining about, and all of them are high. I saw one on the weekend, he nearly got his head taken off, and they didn't pay it. So they're doing the same thing to that young kid that they do to Toby Green. Okay, they obviously don't like him. He's obviously mouthing off to him in the background or something like that. You know, you've got to treat the umpires with respect, and if you want a free kick, you do what Lachie Neale does. Soon before the game starts, he's there chatting to them, asking about their kids and how's their weekend and all that rubbish. Okay, instead of blowing off your thing, but they throw away the rule, and then Tomahawk gets the softest high. It wasn't even high, hit him in the shoulder, and that decides a match. So you wait till they don't pay or do pay one of these things in a grand final, and the MCG will erupt. There's just so many of them. The accidental high contact. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Casbolt. Okay, he need Rich in the head. Okay, causing him, he's going to lose a week. I don't think it's reportable. I think it was an accident. I don't think he did it intentionally. But the AFL have made the rule. Oh well, it's got nothing to do with the action. It's got to do with the outcome. So we've seen players like Robinson got 1 week for turning his body and hitting side bump and causing a concussion. And then you watch Stewart run past 5 metres past the ball, an elbow in the head, and it's all about, oh, it's not incident, it's not an act, it's not, what do they call it? It's not malicious or something like that. He got 4 weeks or 3 weeks. So if it's outcome issues that they're worried about, well then I'm sorry, but Casbolt has to go for at least 3 weeks because he needs someone in the head. He didn't evade them. But anyway, we'll see the hypocrisy of the AFL again. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I hope your team's going well. I hope your team won on the weekend. And please leave some comments. I love to respond to you guys. And we'll catch you again. Salada.